Hey folks, Loman02, currently doing a cube, draft modern cube, that is. So this is pick one, pack one. There's a lot of big dumb stuff that, is good, like Elish Norn and Dragonlord and Tarkar, great top end. But I don't think those are the things that you want to take first. I think here, the pick is honestly between the Simic Signet. Reflecting Pool it's like a third or fourth duel that I like to pick up once I go that route. Trophy's quite good, so I think Strike, Signet, and I can see Rotting Regisaur, Collective Brutality. I am going to pick up Lightning Strike here. And the reason being is I think good is a Phyrexian Obliterator, which is a fun pick to pick up, with the Rotting Regisaur, just big, dumb black cards. Goblin Chain Whirler has the highest chance of wheeling out of this pack as far as another red card if I want to stay on color. Staff of Wind is just a big dumb thing to win with. Courser Crewfix is a really good green card that I could see taking if this was a pick. If this is my first pack, I'd probably be inclined to take Courser or Shivan Fire, but I think I'm going to take Shivan Fire here. It's a board impact. It's very cheap. It scales well. I think this can go, so what I'm kind of building here is equity in either wheeling a red deck wins deck or marrying up these red cards that are very splashable into any other color combination. Could be red-green. Red-blue would be the dream. I think that tends to be one of probably the most winning color combinations in cubes. It's just a good, steady, 70th percentile deck. It has pretty good game against most things, outside of the most extreme aggressive decks. But even then, you have good board impacting cards along the curve. Alright, there's Mizzium Mortar, which is a little bit less of a enticing pickup. There's a red and 6, which is a very powerful card in Constructed Modern, as well as Tarmogoyf, but probably not as much so in this format. So what I'm kind of inclined to take here, because I think that the red and 6 and the Goyf will probably wheel. Sakura Tribal is really good, but it's pretty specific to going to a ramp deck. I think Duskwatch Recruiter or Mizzium Mortars is correct here. You can also see taking Flamewake Phoenix. Do I have a reason to stop cutting color? So at this point, I haven't really been shown a great reason to stop cutting color. And I don't think, so it'd be Aether Sphere Harvester. Duplicant's very powerful too, but it's a 6-drop. I tend to like to try to get 6 drops and 5 and 6 drops later in the cube. And if I don't have to play them, I generally tend not to, because there's only mana acceleration in the form of signets, so the 6s tend to be a little bit more of a struggle. I'm going to take Flamewake here. Duskwatch Recruiter could be the correct pickup because I think it's a more powerful card in general than Flamewake Phoenix. Mizzium Mortars may come around because I don't think that card's that popular. Alright, well, red is open. This is an interesting pack. It's pretty definitively, I think, Swanisary Swiftspear. I could see, Skyships or Sky Sovereign Council Flagship, the thing's a mouthful for me for some reason, is very powerful actually in this cube too. I've tended to find it's a more fair cube. Deck and Stone's also good removal. Kithian's good in the Weenie deck, white Weenie deck. A lot of white Weenie cards, but also a lot of good red deck wins cards. And Dismissive Pyromancer or Experimental Frenzy may come back around. And honestly, I haven't played Dismissive. Not Dismissive. I haven't played the 4-drop Experimental Frenzy in cube before. I think it could be pretty good. So Cloth the Hammer is a more traditional red deck wins card. Field of Ruin is fine. Dreadhorde Arcanist I think is more of a red-blue card. It could end up working out, but I think out of these two cards it has the higher chance of wheeling. And because I think there's a very strong signal that the deck I'm trying to draft is very open, I kind of want to cement it. Again, Selfless Spirit, White Weenie is also open. So aggressive decks are not being drafted very heavily in this cube. There's a Kiki, so we can go that route, but I think I'm just take the pretty even and steady pickup of Burst Lightning here. Banefire is a good sideboard card. I could see main decking it. Could also see taking Xenagos. If we jump into green, which seemed more likely before and less likely now, red and white are the two most open colors at this table. I can see taking that, but I don't think we're very good at protecting it. I don't think we have great ramp targets. And CJ Commander is really kind of a maybe card. I will run CJ Commander in this deck if I don't get anything better, because it is a good mid-game card to play. It scales well against the deck, so this deck typically has a tough time beating. And right now, we don't have good 2 and 3 drops for this deck. That could have been how the packs broke, and maybe we're actually fighting someone. No, we're not fighting anyone. Getting this card right back here. This is the only red card in this pack, outside of Electrolyze, which also came back. This pack I do not believe had a wheel card. So as you can see, the 6s came back. Baneslayer is probably the hardest card for our deck to beat, if it ever resolves. I'm going to take Lava Claw Reaches, though. Mizzium Mortars. I think in this cube you can main deck this card and be just fine with it, because there tends to be a lot more creature-based strategies. I think even the control decks tend to need to have creature-based finishers. Now, there is probably like a Planeswalker deck that I haven't seen, because I've only done 5 of these. I've had 3 2-1 results, and 2 2-0 results, or 3-0 results. So I managed to get lucky enough to win 2 of these. I'm trying to remember 5. Yeah, I have done red deck wins once. I think my second draft was a red deck wins draft, and I ended up losing in the last round against green-white fair with a bunch of life gain, which was a bad matchup for the deck. But that's kind of one of the cool things that I've found in Modern Cube 2 as we kind of wait for our next cards to get here, is that unlike the Legacy and Vintage Cube, it tends to be a little more well-balanced, I think. I'm not sure in this pick. I think I'm going to take the Dismissive Pyromancer. I think there's a higher upside on the Experimental Frenzy, but I have cards like Shivan Fire. I don't know if I have enough burn to really make Experimental Frenzy go off. And for right now, I'm going to leave the Dreadhorde Arcanist in. I mean, I have Burst Lightning. I have a couple things that work well with it, but nothing like exceptional. So white and red are open in this draft. This is a pretty uninspired pack. I'm not a huge fan of Collective Defiance. If I was in the white deck, I would take Giver of Runes. Batterskull, I don't think is a card that this deck wants. I honestly think the right pickup here is Sword of Fire and Ice. I think it is it. I think this is the correct card. What do I have for flyers? I have the Phoenix, which is a flyer. It's not likely to be able to come back very easily outside of Caught the Hammer can make a comeback. I think I'm going to pick up the Sword here. It's really a 5-drop. Like, Murderous Redcap's fine, but I think either Collective Defiance or Murderous Redcap will come around. Maybe the Ingot Chewer will, and like I think I'd probably play an Ingot Chewer in my deck if I didn't have anything better to do. Okay, again, not a really inspired pack, but I'm happy to pick up this Dragon. Thunderbreak Regent is a great 4-drop. It protects itself. Yeah, and it's a 4/4 flyer, which works well with the Sword that we've got. The Sword's also kind of a mirror breaker. I just think it was far and away for what we've got right now, probably the best card to take in that pack, based on also what we could wheel. All right, the Kinra is exactly what we're looking for. I mean, there's a ton of great cards in this pack. Like, JVP is good, a little bit less good in Cube. Nicol Bolas, if you can cast it, is a bomb. What else is good in this pack? Like, Thorn Lieutenant, I think, is a really good, like, aggressive to aggressive mid-range card. It's going to be a tough card for our style of deck to beat. Another Reliquary, also powerful, but less so in this Cube. Conceal Courtyard, good. I mean, Fixing's always going to be good. I think here it's a pretty easy Bomat Courier. We'll probably wheel the Roast, and Roast actually is a very good card to main deck in this format. I think you can get away with main decking it more than you even can Mizium Mortars. Mizium Mortars, you know, can hit flying creatures unlike Roast, but 5 is a real big number, and I tend to think it's a pretty big game. So let's do a quick Siege Gang commander check. So Siege Gang obviously makes 4 goblins to include its 3 plus itself, so 4 goblins. Do I have any other goblins in my deck right now? No. Goblin Guide has not been shown to us yet. We don't know if it's been opened or not, and I don't believe... I haven't checked this cube list. I didn't see the size of it. Obviously, it's been reduced somewhat because all of the old dual lands are not in it. Nor is the power, but I don't know if they've increased... if they've decreased the overall size of the cube to accommodate for the change in card pool, or if it's still like a, 560 or whatever cube, where you only open a certain amount of cards. Alright, well, this pack's not great. What does this do? Give me a free card? Yeah, it has Menace, though. Evasion's going to tend to be decent in a style of deck. It's really the only card I can take here. I mean, unless I want to jump into another color. If I were to jump into another color, it'd probably be for the Glory Bound, which I don't think mixing these two decks is... Mixing red and white aggressive strategies tends to be that great. There's going to be less fixing because it is Modern Cube, and in general, the cards just kind of do more of the same. There's some more definitive removal, but less density of it in white. Like, you don't get Swords to Plowshares, but you get, like, Path to Exile, the Deck and Stone, which we already saw in Pack 1. Okay, maybe we're getting cut, because we're not seeing a lot of good red cards here. So, with that in mind, Sunlance is pretty medium. I think we just take Thraben Inspector and put it in our sideboard. There's probably no way... I mean, I could take a Negate, too. Negate feels so bad. I feel like we're so committed to being aggressive here that we may just take some of the white cards because we know that there's going to be a higher density of them. So if we do have to mix both of these decks together, we have enough density to do it. We can pick and choose. If we go into blue, like, I don't think going into blue for Negate is a good reason to go into blue. And we're going to tend to want to be a tap-out deck. All right, well, maybe not entirely. Maybe I'm stating that early, but there could have been someone else who jumped into red. We're not seeing as much burn coming around, right? So I'm going to pick up this Crater Maker, which is actually a pretty powerful card. It's good artifact removal, and creature removal as well. Can't hit them like the old Ember Hauler could. All right, so this is actually a tough pack for me. I'm not sure if it's actually Revoker or Glorybringer here. I think, honestly, it may just be Glorybringer. Glorybringer is a hell of a card. Like, this is a very powerful card. Especially in this style of deck, because it's pretty tough for this deck to get 2-for-1 advantage. Like, your 2-for-1 advantage is on stuff like Iron Shaman, where you, like, flip this thing up for a mana, and then you can play a card off the top of your deck for the end of the turn, or till the end of the turn. Alright, so all of the cards in this pack wheeled, excepting one. I'm trying for the life of me to remember what it was. It was red. It was a red card. We're going to take the Collective Defiance, and actually, for now, we're probably going to run it. Surprised to see Batterskull in there. I think that card's good in, like, more controlling decks, and Stoneforge Mystic should be in this cube. That said, I'm not sure if it is, because I do know for a fact that Faithless Looting is still in this cube, and it should not be, because it got removed under... I think R&D removed it recently. All right, Sorcerer Spyglass is a good sideboard card. I mean, I could take the Fairgrounds Ward if I wanted to keep on, like, cutting some of the white cards out. This pack did not have anything for us to wheel. I probably should have taken the 2-3, the green 2-3, looking back at it. I just took Golos. I saw a colorless card. That was an error on my part. I think the green 2-3 that makes things, what is it, Thorn? Whatever it is. Makes a 1-1 whenever it gets targeted, and it pumps for, like, 6 mana. And Roast came around. There was another, like, I think, Bonfire of the Damned in there. I'll put Roast in for now. This is far and away the best card here. Hissing Quagmire is fine. Elder Spell is a powerful spell, but I think it's kind of limited. I'm surprised to see Chromatic Lantern come around like that. I guess folks are trying to hug closer to the ground in this cube. But the fact that it just perfectly fixes mana makes it a pretty good, I think, rock in this cube. Alright, well, we have an interesting one here. I do think that P and Kira and Nalar have a higher chance of wheeling. If I want that effect, I already have Siege Gang Commander. I don't think I want to take a secondary sword. I think I'm going to take Exquisite Firecraft. It's a lot of damage. It can be uncounterable, and I'm a little bit light on burn right now. So I have a Lightning Strike, Shivan Fire, which is not really burn. It's just removal, Burst Lightning. We have this other set of, like, burn that's really just creature-based burn. Collective Defiance can do face damage. I think it's only 3, though, or is it 4? 4 damage to creature, 3 to face. A Lava Coil. That's a hell of a card, too. It's going to come around, though. I'm going to pick up the Thundermaw here. We may be playing a little more of a top-end heavy red deck than you typically see, but it is... This is Modern Cube, so you're going to have... I don't know. This deck shouldn't change all that much going back in history, really. Fight with Fire is a cool card, but I think it's more of a blue-red card or a green-red card because you really want ramp to make that work. If you can get to 9 mana with it, it's quite powerful. But pick up Kari Zev. Kari Zev is a good pickup. We know there's no Karakas in this. I'm going to put Roast in the board for now. I'm pretty comfortable playing Shivan Fire, but Roast, well, a very strong card. If I have playable density, I would prefer not to play. And as it stands right now, we may be a more high-end deck, or we may just, not have seen the cards yet. Magma Jet would be pretty cool to play, but I think I'm just going to pick up the Fire Drink Satyr. Alright. Outpost Siege is very powerful. So is Perforos. I think I'm going to take Perforos here. Yeah, I think I prefer that. It's just more proactive. Not saying I'm going to play it, but I don't think I would have main decked the Siege either. The Siege is quite good. I mean, it's kind of like an experimental... It's, in a way, like an experimental Frenzy, but probably worse. Probably higher floor, lower ceiling on it. But both those style of cards, I think, are good, but they're really only great in certain matchups where you're not worried about your opponent actually killing you. And I don't think, like I said, I'm glad I didn't take the Experimental Frenzy now, because I don't think I have the volume of burn that would be desirable to actually be playing that card. Alright, Manic Vandal blows up my own sword. There's a Steam Vents, which, if I had gotten earlier, may have enticed me to go more into blue. Actually, a ton of fetch lands. The fetch lands broke weird in this cube. There's like 2 in this pack, a bunch of fixing. Creator's Claws is fine. I think here I am going to take the Manic Vandal, put it on my board for now. I may actually start it. Flamewake Phoenix is kind of interesting. So I don't think I'm going to be getting this back all that often, but I don't mind putting it in the board for now. Yeah, Rampaging Frostine is exactly what this deck wants. Great card. All right, P and Kieran came around. I think I like them better than Perforos. They do work well with Perforos, but I don't think this is going to be a 16-land deck. Typically speaking, I like to make these decks 16-landers, but I think with 2 5s and 3 4s, I'm going to be happier with 17 lands. We also have a little bit of draw. Not a ton of it, mind you, but we have the Bomat Courier to get through cards. The Suspicious Pyromancer gets through cards. Dreadhorde Arcanist is looking gosh awful in this deck. All right, Gristlebrand, get in here. You're one of the cooler cards in the cube, but there's not really a great Reanimator deck. I mean, there is a Reanimator deck, but it's just pretty light on playables. I think we cut this guy. Engineered Explosives is a card we could play for notably 1. I'm debating if I want to actually run this Manic Vandal. This is for creature density purposes. It may be something that I want to run. Or it could just be Mizzium Mortars. Roast is very powerful, too. I mean, I could just go with another 4-drop and put Perforos in. I don't know. This is more of a mid-rangey red deck. I mean, it's got some low end as well. Don't get me wrong, it's going to have draws where it's just kind of quick out the gates, but it also has, you know, its mid-lane game is a little stronger than its low-end game is. I don't think it's an Arclight Phoenix deck. I don't think Dreadhorde Arcanist is getting in there. All right, Ismaru, sure. Outpost Siege, yeah, sure. Actually, a really good sideboard card. I think it's quite good as a sideboard option. I don't think we're going to start that card, though. It just doesn't kill folks. It helps you kill folks if you know you're going to be trading off resources really aggressively. My question kind of is do I want to run Manic Vandal, Arclight Phoenix, or another piece of removal? I think that's going to be one of my flex slots. All right, Quarantine Field, cool card. I also wonder now if I could have picked up that Revoker in pack 1. I mean, it's probably not worth wondering about. I think I did have to signal that this color was cut off. I'm going to pick up the Manic Vandal. Now, it's a non-bow with 2 cards in my deck. So if I draw it and I just have a sword and they don't have any art, my opponent has no artifacts, and I have a sword on the board or a Bomat Courier, it's kind of a little bit medium. But I think having that ability available is good for the most part. There's signets in this format. Yeah. This is going to be a 17-lander, though. We do have the Glorybringer and the Thundermaw Hellkite, then, 3 4s here, so I think, and one of them is pretty mana-intensive, plus the sword, for all intents and purposes, is a 5-drop. Flamewake Phoenix is made more enticing by sword, making things 4 toughness or greater. We have a couple dragons that'll help get Flamewake Phoenix back if it just dies normally. I kind of like where this deck's at. I think it's a fine red deck. And we've got some flexibility with the board. I mean, I've got a lot more removal I can put in. I've got some good attritional cards. I've got a Banefire if I go against like a mono counter spells deck and I just find I'm running out of resources. I don't know if I'd bring that in against that deck, though. I think Outpost Siege would be pretty good against that style of deck, and then possibly something like, Banefire maybe. But Outpost Siege seems like one of the better cards against like just a all-out control deck. Just run them out of resources, drop that thing, and start playing 2 cards a turn. Seems pretty strong. So I don't know. I think this is a pretty decent, middle-of-the-road red deck. It's more mid-rangey than probably your strongest builds of it are going to be, but it has some good tools. It has some good tools in it. Maybe I don't need the Manic Vandal looking at it again. I forgot I have the Goblin Crater Maker. We're going to see. All right, match is up. Yeah, his hand's a keep. But it doesn't have a 3-drop, but we've got a couple draw steps. We're on the play. Against another like low-end creature deck like White Weenie or Red Deck wins, his hand's a little bit more marginal. This is lacking removal. But I think in the dark, you keep this because you have 1-drop, 2-drop, and your 1-drop is... You're pretty assured to hit for 2 damage on turn 2. If they play like nothing, okay. So that's not a color combo that I tend to like to see while I'm playing this deck. Land is not what we want to see. I think here we just slam the Kenra. Sure. And we can get punished here. There's a good chance that, they play a thing that we wanted to use the Kenra on, but there's also a chance they just play a kill spell, play a draw spell, or play, a Sylvan Caryatid out or something like that. We don't get to use it anyways. So waiting doesn't behoove us, I don't think. Okay, Signet. Let's draw our Manic Vandal. Nope, another mountain. That's alright. I would have rather not drawn it, but we're just going to pump and get some damage in here. Get him down to 11, and the next turn we have Koth. It's very likely they're either going to board sweep or play out a 4-drop of relevance this turn. Their mana has to be quite fixed, I would assume. Yeah, they're on like an Abzan list. Not a great color pie for us to see. That is the color pie that plays Kitchen Finks, Thragtusk, Thruns, Obstinate Baloths, and whatnot. So despite them being at a decently low life total, I mean, we've taken away half their life in the first couple turns. I'm definitely not counting them out of this whatsoever. It's going to be a Siege Rhino, too. There's a lot of bad cards for us here. It feels like a Siege Rhinoceros. Is it? No, it's an X-Spell. Interesting. It's like a Mind Rot. Oh, Genesis Hydra. Okay, so for 2. And they find nothing with it. I guess they find this can't be lands, right? Okay, so they have a 2-2. That is not that scary. That is one of the better things I could see happening for us. That's interesting. My debate here is, do I just attack first? I think I'm supposed to just attack here and see what they do. My guess is they'll block the Fire Drink Satyr here. Because I think what I want to do here is, I think they block. They might not. Yeah. They're going to block. All right, yep. So I'm going to take 2 from this attack. They'll take 2 from this attack. I think what I'm supposed to do here is actually get the Koth down, make mana with the Koth, play out the Manic Vandal, and hammer their mana. Vandal, you were a couple turns too late, buddy. That's all right, though. I think we're still in an okay spot here. We'll knock out their mana. Now, if they have like another green source, they can activate Hissing Quagmire and trade off. But, yeah, so they have another land, another creature land. But that's putting them back a turn on mana development. This comes to play tapped. Hopefully not a Finks or something like that. That would be not good for me. Okay, well, you know, that aside, I mean, we lost a little bit of damage here, but we're not doing horrible. All right, well, that was horrible. All right, well, 17 lands sometimes going to bite you, but we have dragons in the deck, and let's draw a dragon. Can also send in the Keenra. All right, they don't have anything, I guess. Sometimes they just don't have it. If they had known I was on 2 mountains, maybe they don't concede there. Let's draw and see. All right, Irish Shaman was not a bad draw. Collective Defiance is a draw that probably killed them. Shivan Fire? Okay. So we're playing against a fair deck. I tend to think against these fair decks, like you want... They didn't play any creatures, though. Like, I don't know what's going on over there. I'm going to resub, guys. I could see bringing in Siege Gang Commander against their deck, because it's just really good in general against, like, Abzan decks. Like, it blocks well, it blows things up. It's generally 2 to 3 for 1 advantage. It takes a lot of mana to do, but... Yeah. So they have Pulse. I'm having a hard time figuring out why they would concede. There are 5 cards. I mean, given their mana seemed like it was kind of sluggish, but good. I mean, they had a lot of creature lands that, you know, that the Whispering Wildwood is quite strong against my deck. Yeah, again, this is a great hand. It's got removal. It's got 1 and 2 drop. This one actually does have removal. We didn't see a ton of creatures out of them, though, so I don't... Maybe they're more of a controlling Abzan deck. Tapped or untapped? Alright, taking the damage. So we're going to get Inquisition or Thoughtseized here, or Duress, possibly. Maybe they have a Dork, too. If they have a Dork, I probably... Okay. I'm going to burn that off, I think, right away. Yeah, I think I like just blowing this thing up. They were on the play, so their hand's going to be more dependent upon what they opened on. In general. Alright, Crater Maker is a cool, like, hey, surprise, gotcha, bud. So I'm going to play out Dismissive Pyromancer. This gives me options to play out the Fire Drink Satyr and leave up removal on the following turn. Alright, nothing. I think I just attack here. I don't think I need to loot right now. And I think here what I'm going to do is face down this thing. It's got Menace, and it can become... It's a Megamorph, right? So it'll become a 3-2 for 1 red mana next turn. So I think that's fine. Nothing, eh? Okay. Well, I'm going to see if I can hit a land here. because now I have a reason to want to hit a land here. Okay, I did not, but this is a fine card to hit, so I'm just going to play this thing out. Alright, put him to a low life total, and say go. And next turn, if I hit a land, I think they're just dead. Well, they hit their white mana, so they could have like a Siege Rhinoceros or some other nonsense. So this is Pyromancer's also removal, which is not a bad thing. But I feel like they're probably in trouble here. I feel like they are probably in some trouble. Alright, we have like a pulse on something. Okay, the Nullhide Feryx. Okay. Well, that only blocks my Dismissive Pyromancer. Okay, so they're just done. Well, I don't know if Moto's frozen up. We may not be able to see the next card. It was not a land, so land was 2 down. Alright, guys, well, we're going into game 2, 2-0 up in game number 1. Red deck wins tends to have that effect, though. It either, like, loses pretty resoundingly or wins pretty resoundingly. And it could just be our opponent's deck. Maybe, you know, they whiffle-waffled too much and just didn't quite get there what they wanted to get. They had some interesting cards in there. Like, Nullhide Ferox is a card that I think is very powerful, but I think it really wants to be in a very specific deck. Generally, like, green-white aggressive. I think it's pretty good for it. Maybe mono green aggro. Mono green aggro I don't think has the depth of playables. I think it needs to dip into white to really be kind of a good aggressive deck. Because white tends to have the good 1s and 2s, whereas green just has a lot of ramp at that point. You don't have jungle lions and whatnot. I guess you have like Voice of Resurgence. And that was this hand. I think I'm going to keep this, guys, and I think it's kind of close. But I'm going to draw. It has a chance of flooding out really badly, but it has turn 1 removal for a mana dork. It has a flyer. All right, well, am I going to regret this? All right, now it has another 3-drop, so go ahead. What do I not want to see? The 2/3 lifelinking Death Toucher would be pretty horrendous. That would be probably one of the worst things to see here. Opponent's not doing much, though. Say go. This is a very slow hand. It just... I don't think this is one you pitch back just due to the interaction that it has early and then like the long-term cards it has access to. Alright, so Afflict 3. So if I burn that, it goes down to a 4/4. Alright, that doesn't do much then. I think what I'm supposed to do is just jam this Idjit out. I can kill this thing next turn. It's going to do 4 to me. Which is not great, but... Oh, yeah, you do have to attack. I know you're attacking. And I didn't plan on blocking with you, buddy. One of the things on Moto that kills me is, like, these cards that must attack each combat, like, can become annoying. You're just like, alright. Okay, Choop-a-loop. Alright, so I'm going to get hit for 4 here. And go down to 16. Interesting. This does 4 to target creature. Alright, let's just blow this thing up. Glad to get rid of this clunker, to be honest. I mean, I could have saved it. I think I'm just going to play a Bomat Courier out and kind of hope they attack with this Choop-a-loop. And if they don't, they don't. But I would not mind. I'm not going to attack this turn, obviously. I could Burst Lightning it, but I think I'd rather say Burst Lightning because next turn it can turn into a 4-damage burn spell. I could knock out a Planeswalker if they play like a 5-drop Liliana Vest or something. It's like a... Okay, this thing. Attack me. Okay. Alright, this thing. This thing. I think I am going to knock out this Midnight Reaper here. They're going to get a card out of it. They'll lose some life off of it. But we get to get in 4 here and get a card underneath the Bomat Courier, which is kind of nice. And, yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, next turn we could be setting up to I mean, we could just be dying to a Massacre Worm here. Okay. Grey Merchant. It's not good for me, but it's a thing that is going to happen here. Gonna attack again. Okay. Alright, so I'm at 8. Pretty low, but the Grey Merchant could have been worse for us. I think I'm going to play this thing out. No. I'm going to equip this fella up. I'm going to see what they want to do here, I think. Yeah, let's do this. They could block the Monastery Swift Spear and eat it. But then they're taking a significant amount of damage off the Bomat Courier. Okay, yeah, I like this block by them. Just gonna blow this thing up. And hopefully not get Massacre. I mean, I guess Massacre Room doesn't kill me here, but they have a lot of lands, so... Okay, that's not going to do anything per se. It's just going to look at my hand and be like, oh, okay. Yep. Just going to get in there with this thing. I think I'm going to play out my flyer here. Could be Folly. Okay. That is a life linker. Okay, here and here. They're going to get a 2-2 out of this and flip this thing, and then they can return a thing if they'd like. So now they can get back something, right? Is this converted mana cost? Converted mana cost. So they get back the Ammon Eternal if they like. I don't know if that's great, but it's a thing they can do. I did lose all those cards, but I think at this point I need to conserve my life total and try to just to trick them out. I don't know. I could be wrong. They've obviously hit a lot of lands, so at some point they're going to start hitting good cards, I think. Okay, each player discards a card, so I lose that card. Cool. Well, I'm going to blast this idiot out of the way. And what I'm going to end up doing here is equip the sword to this thing. Now I'm feeling pretty good. Oh, and we get this back too. Cool. That's pretty sweet. Liliana, and you. Yeah, I forgot about the bird. Forgot this deck actually has a pretty good shot at getting the bird back too. Alright, let's dome them and see if we can find some good burn here. Alright, Firecraft is a game ender next turn. So, the onus on them to kill me right now, and I don't know how easy it's going to be. I guess, what does it here? Like, even Massacre Worm's not, like, great. Is this, like, some huge burn spell? Oh, it could be, yeah, they hit the X spell. They're going to kill me with this X spell. That was a really hell of a draw. Oh, no, it was just Hangerback Walker? Whatever. That card's fine. Who cares? Right, I thought it was a Profane Command. That's what I thought was happening to me. I was like, oh, I'm just dead. Now they're just dead. Alright, so this thing does not fly yet, so... Yep. Get in there, guys. Thought I was getting Profane Commander right now. That would have been enough to kill me. It would have been exactly 6. Alright. Yeah, I'm not going to show you other spells. Alright, so Koth is the next draw. Cool. Alright, yeah, I thought we'd gotten Profane Commanded right now. And I was like, oh my god. If you're not familiar, yep. Yeah. So... is roast... I mean, like, they probably... The funny thing is they probably have, like... cards along the lines of, like, Obliterator. Obliterator is very difficult for this deck to beat. I did not see any artifacts. Manic Vandal may be a bit slow. Maybe I want, like, an Arclight Phoenix. That's so... Ugh. Outpost Siege is interesting, too, because they're going to kill a lot of my stuff. I'm going to want more cards. It's probably better than Manic Vandal. 17 lands. Yeah. Siege and Commander, I also think I kind of like. More than what? The like Koth is kind of like medium against them. I think I like it better than Koth. Let me go this way. Like, I think we go more mid-rangey against them because, like, things that accrue more value. Koth does not accrue value. Like, he just kills people fast, and, well, that's good. All right, this hand's a dumper. We'll mull this one. Yep, this is a keeper. This one, I think I'm going to get rid of the Ire Shaman. We need to hit lands on this. Nothing. But if we do, it's pretty good. Play out the Monastery Swiftspear, get Fatal Pushed? Or no. No Fatal Push, alright. And I could die to basically a lot of cards that they could have access to, like Doomblade. Alright, Gifted Aetherborn is spooky. I'm just going to play out Kari Zev here. I don't think I want a 2-for-1 myself on Gifted Aetherborn. Now, if they hold back and block the Monkey token, I may Burst Lightning their thing. Okay, that's pretty spooky. That's a spooky card. Okay. Probably going to eat the Monkey token. Okay. I mean, I could just knock out their Lily this turn. But now, I mean, they're in a position where, like, I guess, yeah, maybe I should have. Maybe I should have just knocked out Lily there. Yeah, I probably should have. I don't know. It's tough, because now they can minus it and get it back, but, like, they're down to Lily at that point. Alright, they're just going to make that thing smaller. That seems fine to me. Okay, the Choopaloops is probably going to kill Karisev. Yep. I kind of want to hit a land here. Not going to lie. Good job, deck. Flamewake Phoenix. And go. And the next turn we can Sword up if we hit a land. Or we can Thundermaw. If we get... There's a chance that we get hit with, what is it called? The stupid Grey Merchant, Gary. If I had a land, I'll probably Sword here if they tap out. If they tap out for, like, an Obliterator, ooh. That card's scary. Scary AF. Alright, that is not what I wanted to hit. Alright, this. Oh, yeah, get in there, bud. You too. You too, homie. Alright, Choopaloop's going to block. Cool. But they don't have a creature on board, so maybe I'm not dead. Maybe I am not totally out of this. Alright, more land. Gary. Okay, this card. The Sword can not kill this thing, but it can kill off the Lily, I guess. I don't know. Not looking good, guys. Not looking good. I do have the Crater Maker to deal with the Sword. That's true. That would be a good draw. That would be, how do they call it, a good draw. I think here, what I'm supposed to do is this. Crank on them a little bit. They're going to get this damn Ravenous Chupacabra back, though. I guess I can blow it up. I think I'm supposed to target her. Alright, just hit a land. Is there any benefit to re-equipping this on the Monastery Swift Spear? No, there's not, because I actually want them to kill the Flamewake Phoenix so I can get back the Glory Bringer. I guess technically any 3 damage removal spell knocks this sword off. The sword's just annoying from the life gain perspective. Alright, so look at back the Chipaloop, probably. Just my educated guess, I don't know. Yeah, don't have blockers. F6. And get back a what? Pourquoi? Okay, this thing. I gotta just keep drawing cards. That's what I gotta do. I gotta find... I did take out my Vanic Vandal, which now I'm regretting that. That was rugged. Alright, this thing upticks on the Monastery Swift Spear. They're gonna blow up the Flamewake Phoenix, I assume. Yep. They re-equip. No, they do not. I'm going to equip this and see if they'll send the Chupaloops. Alright, we'll eat both these things. They have a kill spell as well. Oof. Alright, that's not good. Rough beats. I can't afford to give them back. I mean, at a minimum, this is going to protect my dragons, right? I can't afford to give them... They're going to have to equip the sword up, but I can't afford to give them a Choop to get back next turn with the sword. It ties me up too much to actually blow up the Choop with the strike there. Maybe I played it too timidly, though. Okay. I am in a bit of trouble here. That's for sure. If I had another land, I can possibly lock up a sword here. And Thundermaw or Glorybringer them. Gets back the gifted Aetherborn. Cool. I would assume it is anything with not 2 toughness. Alright, so play out this thing. Probably uptick the Lily. Yep. Okay. Alright, send this thing in. I'm going to knock out Liliana. I'm going to hit them. And say go. Not a great spot. So making 6. So I have a 2-turn clock. I do have blockers, though. So I'm going to get hit for a bazillion here. They're going to get back, at a minimum, their Lifebane Zombie, which doesn't do anything in this matchup, but it's a thing that's hard to block at a minimum. If I can blow this sword up, I think I can get into a spot where I'm not in, like, horrible shape. But, I mean, I could just be dead here, too. This is a Grey Merchant of Asphodel. Okay, I'm just dead. This is, yeah, 6. Okay, so I've died. Into the next game. So I do think Manic Vandal needs to come back in. That card is... The sword is... If we get into one of these attritional games, it's kind of hard to beat. I could also put a Sorcerer's Spyglass in, but that kind of... I guess it gets their Lily. yeah, Manic Vandal. That was a beating. Outpost Siege. I still feel like that's okay. Don't want more removal. Like, Roast seems fine against them. Probably more so than Outpost Siege. Like, I do think Siege Gang Commander is still quite good. I do kind of like the Dragons, too, in this match, but I think the Dragons are fine. Like, Irish Shaman, it's card advantage, I suppose. I still think the Sword's good, too, because it is card advantage as well. Maybe we go like this, try to go underneath them because we're on the play this time. Let's do this. We're on the play. Let's try to lower our curve a little bit and like have another removal spell and kind of go back to the primary game plan. Maybe we overboarded a little bit there. The Outpost Siege certainly did us no favors from behind. I'd love to play first. Hand is a keep. I wouldn't say a sneap, but it's a keep. If it had a 1-drop, it'd be a sneap. But it's pretty good. I mean, it's got 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, so... We're on time, buddy. Alright, get in there. Don't play the Aetherborn. Alright, Aetherborn. It is. Oh, Freebooter. That hits nothing in my hand. My hand's bad. Surprise. It's not bad. It just has no spells. It has all creatures. Alright, this thing. Come on, Moto. I wonder if they trade here. I mean, they have to know that my hand doesn't really care if they trade. I mean, they might just take. Alright, they have a sword then, more than likely. The sword is going to be a bit irksome, I suppose. Alright, Bloodghast is fine. It doesn't really do anything. It doesn't block. They don't block and they don't attack. Interesting. What do I make of that? I make of that being Fatal Push. Let's see how they block this time around. There's a good chance it's a Fatal Push, is what it is. Very strong chance there's a Fatal Push waiting for me here. Alright, I have to attack with the bird, but I'm going to attack with both. Because I have 6 mana now, so I mean, the Earthshaker Keenra dying is not a big deal. It's actually better for me if it dies at some point, trades off here. Or eats a removal spell. Okay. Well, which would you care to eat? Yep. Oh. So they have another removal spell is what they're telling me? Alright, well, my play is pretty much, it's the same every time. It's going to be this. I'm kind of shocked they didn't save that, though, for this thing, because that thing can come back. Maybe they're just going to kill this thing right off. Okay, so they have this. So this thing dies. Cool. So they had a bunch of removal. Take 2. Sword on 5 is what I'm kind of, like, fearing the most right now. Alright, well, land was not a good draw. Alright, this thing. Smack ya. There's even a chance that, like, I want to wait to bring back the Earthshaker Canvas so I can bring the Phoenix back on the same turn. Is it sword? Ugh, not a sword. It's going to be the sword. Alright, Kalitas. Kalitas is annoying, but not unbeatable. Roast. Alright. I'm going to do this myself. I'm going to get rid of this mountain and try to get a new card. See what happens. Alright, Burst of Lightning. Well, this is lethal if they... Well, I can't block, so I guess this is just lethal. That was a good draw. Three down to 0. Voila! Alright, red deck wins. They had some good cards in there. So I do think the mono black mid-range to mid-range aggro deck is actually quite good. I've drafted it once, actually, in this. I went 2-1. It doesn't feel like it's going to often be a 3-0 deck, but It has good game against the aggressive decks in here. Like you saw, like Kalidas is a threatening thing to see. That's probably the reason they kept the hand. Start off with would be my guess because it wasn't really powerful through 3. So my guess would be they kept based on the power of Kalidas. So I guess I am happy I brought Roast back in, although it did not come into play there. And I have my one bad removal card, Collective Defiance. I would love to play first on this deck. Ooh. I think I got to ship this one back. Oh, no, guys. All right, we're going to 5. All right, this is a keeper. Here, I think I ship 1 land. I think it's honestly a Lightning Strike. I think I got to get rid of the removal. I mean, I don't know the matchup, but I want to be able to put pressure on my opponent. And this... All right, well, we're in the mirror. Okay. All right, dismissive Pyromancer. I don't feel like we're going to do well here. They're going to have a lot more resources than me in the mirror. And, yeah, it's going to be tough. All right, they don't attack, though. All right. I mean, you attack here, right? You don't just sit back and try to, like, do nonsense. I'm still going to exert. I feel like they're trying to get tricky here. I'm just going to 5-ball them. Play like some big dumb artifact out. Just do it. That's not a big dumb artifact. That's a thing that actually... That's actually good for my rampaging Ferocidon, though. Alright, cool. Gonna trade me. Okay. Well, they didn't show removal before, so evidently their hand was keepable. It's probably high end. If it's like a Pia and Kieran Alar, that may be good for me. Especially with the rampaging for Rosodon. My hope is they just play like some sword, and like I'm able to play out this Manic Vandal and blow up their sword. Alright, Phoenix. Cool. I'm going to cast this thing face down. I'm going to take some damage off this. Alright, your Phoenix is not blocking. Okay. I'll eat their stuff. And now I have 2 menace creatures available to me. I mean, we'll see what that matters. I don't know if blocking with the Legion Warboss there was... I don't know their hand, so I guess I don't know. I don't think, in general, that's a worthwhile trade. The Pyromancer is... I don't know. It's... I have a hard time evaluating the card. I don't... In this format. In that limited format, it was quite good, but... They are obviously in the tank here. There's no blistering... Oh, they're probably looking at the morphs. That it could be. Unless I'm like a mad lad and I'm playing a non-red morph. Alright, Koth, yep. Alright, so they're going to try to hit me for some damage here. Cool. Down to 8. Can I kill them this turn? Let's turn this face up. That's not going to do it. Alright, so if... I mean, I have to kill the Koth here, right? So I can do... Not quite enough, eh? I'm going to get damage off this. This is risky. I mean, it puts him pretty close to dead next turn. I can't play this Glorybringer. Just gave them free information. I was hoping to hit a land there. Any three damage burn spell kills me. All right, Westvale Abbey. Okay, that does not kill me. Show me another. Okay. Well, you're still quite dead, my friend, as both of these have the Menage. Alright, so we got fortunate they did not have the burn spell, but I guess we kind of knew unless they drew it, they didn't have the burn spell. Interesting game. I'm going to go on a quick pause, guys, while we're in sideboarding time to use the restroom. I'll be right back momentarily. Yeah, I don't think we have a ton of interesting sideboarding options to do here. I think we either go more mid-range or we go lower with like removal like Mizzia Mortars and Rose, but I'll be back momentarily. Alright, guys, so we're back. I do think that in this matchup, like, I do like my top end. I don't know if Siege Gang Commander is necessary. I kind of do like adding in, like, a Roast. That could be bad, though. Like, I don't know if I need that much burn, like, that kind of burn. Like, the small burn does pretty good, too. Like, Flamewake Phoenix is kind of unexciting as well. I think I like bringing this in. Manic Vandal felt kind of underwhelming. I mean, we could be dead wrong on that again, but I think we should cut that. I don't think I'm going to put in the additional low-end burn. It's just, we haven't seen enough of their deck, and they don't appear to be, I mean, they appear to be more of a creature-heavy build, but I don't know enough information yet, I think, is kind of the honest answer. So this hand needs to draw lands, but I think I'm going to keep it. My one-drops are also not going to... Yeah, like, this one-drop is, like, it's good to have, but it's also kind of fragile in this matchup, and it can tend to lead to blowouts. We'll see if they have a good follow-up. Okay, they're just going to burn me. I think I just like playing this guy out and saying, hey, remove it, and seeing what they do. I mean, we could very well lose here. I mean, we do need to hit lands. Okay, yeah, we get Searing Blaze, which is not great. I think I should play Crater Maker out. This can remove their Fire Drink Satyr at instant speed, and if they play anything out main 1, I can block something and then remove another thing. Alright, hopefully not the Phoenix. That would be a little newsome. Alright, it is the Phoenix. Land, please. Thank you, deck. I think here what I'm going to do is just play out to Pia and Kieran Nalaar. And if I had another land, I can play out the Siege Gang, which doesn't seem half bad. I'm going to do this. Just double block the Arclight Phoenix. I mean, if they can place 3 spells in a turn. I think it's 3 sorceries or instants. Great, but I don't think it's likely they can. They could remove one of these in response to the burn spell. That could be what's happening here. That's a risk we run into making this block, but okay, they're not going to go for it. They're going to save the burn spell. Cool. Alright, Glorybringer is kind of an interesting way to be able to deal with this thing. I think right now what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to escalate this to 2 modes. I'm going to discard draw. Then I'm going to deal 4 damage to a creature. What I'm really hoping to do here, it's going to be me. I'm going to get rid of this thing. I do like all these cards, but I do need to get rid of this thing because I feel like if I get down to 4, I'm in a very dubious spot. What I'm hoping to do is hit a land here, plus a burn spell. I did not. So now I'm in some trubs. I might as well get my attack in. Alright, we'll get the attack in. That's fine. They're going to get their Phoenix back. I get my sword back, but I think I'm quite dead here. Okay, a Smuggler's Copterino. This thing. Alright. Get hit for 4. I think I'm just dead. I think they got me. Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and call it there. We'll concede this one. Early beats into double flyers, pretty tough. And this Rekindling Phoenix is actually a card that I was kind of looking forward to. But, you know, unfortunately I didn't find it. I do think we are not in a horrible spot to get there, though, in this one. All right, so do I want Mizium Mortars? I may actually want that, just another means of dealing with Phoenix. Collective Defiance is so slow. I do think I'm going to keep it in, though. Like, what would I cut as opposed to, like, those? Like, maybe it's just the Siege Gang Commander because it's just big and clunky. Like, Fire Drink Satyr feels really bad, too. Like, I think I'd rather just have another dumb 5. Like, yeah, the Fire Drink Satyr is so bad in this matchup. It's just like, God, like... It's like one of the last things I really want to be playing on one. I don't even think I need 1-drops. I think I want to go more mid-range in this matchup. I would like to play first. This hand is a pretty easy mulligan. This hand's a keep. This is a good hand, actually. We're going to keep this. I think here we just get rid of the 5-drop. We have enough 5-drops in deck that I don't think we're going to, at risk of running out of them. And I actually like Kari Zev as a turn 2 play, because 3 toughness is actually more relevant than I think a lot of folks give it credit for. Especially no Bolt. Alright, get out there, Kari. Do your job. Okay. I think here we play out the Dismissive Pyromancer. I will let them trade with the Monkey token if they want to spare the damage. They do not. Just gonna kill this thing off now. I could save it, but... Okay. They got the bird again. I do want to hit a land here. Alright, yep. Trade you. My 2 for your 3. Bird, yep. Alright, down to 4. Gotta start blocking here. They're gonna take? Alright. Well, you're dead to everything now. Okay. You can eat that thing. That's 8. Plus 5, 13, 15. It's a lot of damage. So this way I take 4, 5. Let's see what they got. Nothing. Alright, you dead? I think they're dead. All right, guys. Well, I don't know if we'll keep on talking here, but anyways, that was a 3-0 with red deck wins. Yeah. So ended up going pretty well. Didn't get the clean 6-0, 3-0 sweep, but played some pretty sweet games. I've done a couple of these now. I think this is the third I've won. This is number 6. So I've been doing pretty well in them. But I mean, Cube tends to be my jam. I love Cube. One of my favorite, probably my most beloved limited format to play. But I like all limited formats. They tend to all be great. If it's your first time checking out my content, I haven't put a ton of Modern Cubes. I think this is the only Modern Cube I've actually put up so far. Typically, I play a lot of Canadian Highlander, which is a lot like Cube. It's just constructed Cube. And that tends to be my favorite constructed format. So if this is the first time you're watching my content, go ahead and check out the rest of it. There's a lot of cool Canadian Highlander content, which, as I said, is basically this, but just constructed. And it's vintage legal. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this cube. I had fun doing it. I think it was an interesting draft. I don't know if I made the right calls in it or not. I'm going to have to go back and look at it. Like, I do think there were more decks I could have taken there. I do think taking the early hedge into taking red base removal, which I tend to think goes in just a wide variety of decks, is a good way to hedge, especially if you don't have good early mana picks. I think you either do that or you go Signets. And for me personally as a player, I tend to. The Signets are very strong, but I think the Signets also tend to lead towards more specific types of decks. Decks that maybe I don't per se have as much fun playing. I'm not a huge ramp fan. I think the decks are powerful, but they're actually, in my opinion, more linear than red decks are. I think this deck actually has more play to it than those style of decks do. I think he generally, this is my opinion on it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I definitely had fun playing it. Cool, tidy little 3-0 here with red deck wins, which, as long as there are magic cards being printed and cubes being made, red deck wins will be a viable archetype in pretty much all of them, as long as you build your cube to have the 5th color of magic. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and take care now.